Okay.
Good morning. Let's call the meeting to order. Today is Tuesday. It's August the 10th. We're here at our maintenance building for our regular council meeting. We're going to stand for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge of allegiance. Thank you. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tammy, call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Here.
Mr. Pollitt?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Call?
Here.
Mr. King?
Here. Thank you. All right, first on our agenda is a series of minutes under our consent, unless there's some additions or corrections. We'll have a motion to approve by consent.
Make a motion to approve the agenda by consent.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any opposition? Recollect the minutes by consent will approve 5-0. Okay. Next is citizens' comments. I think everyone that I see is familiar with the rules. If it's an agenda item, please hold your comments till citizens' comments. If not, floor is open for citizens' comments. Yes, sir, Rock.
Rock Creek, Colorado. I just gotta say, after 2 years and 10 months, 9.5 months, I had to celebrate when you guys signed the contract to get rid of them damn trailers. I've been here that long to do it. I just can't believe it. Can't believe it.
Well,
Second thing, Mario, this is for you. You came in here. I sat in all these meetings from the day before the hurricane, after the hurricane, and I know we went through the city administrators and death of our last one suddenly. You came in here. I know a lot of people is all this controversy, whatever. I really don't know why you're retiring, but when you came in here, you took over a hellhole of a job. I can tell you that right now because what was going on with FEMA, DOT, and everybody else, everybody was clueless pretty much. There was money nobody could even account for. And for somebody just to come in the middle of that crap, I give you credit for it. I just want to say, as a citizen who sat here and listened to you over and over and over, you actually had your act together knowing what you're talking about. I want to appreciate that. Thank you.
other citizens' comments? Okay. Moving on to department reports. Do we have a financial report?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Debbie's on the line.
Oh. Good morning, Debbie.
Hello, good morning. I don't have an actual report to give. I was just going to let you know what's happened in the last week or so. So we submitted everything to the property appraiser's office for our tentative millage. We had to move our date back by 1 day because the school board changed their date to September 9th. So ours is going to be September 8th at 5:01 p.m. That'll be on the trim notices that are sent to the citizens, so that's their notification about the meeting. We'll have some a resolution to adopt the tentative millage rate, and then schedule the following meeting for the final adoption. As far as the audit goes, the auditors are working behind the scenes on the fiscal year 20 audit. I'm ramping up the year-end and review of fiscal year 2021. Again, I still have hopes that we'll be caught up in January 2022. I'm working on the cash for current, which is the reconciliation of all those reimbursements we're getting from FEMA, since the governor signed that 5%, where we're going to be able to get all the 5% matching funds back. And then working on finalizing November 2020 bank statements and moving into December 2020. Any questions?
No. So we will convene on September 8th at 5:01 for the public hearing, and then do we have a date for adoption?
The We'll have to double check with the county to make sure that September 22nd is the date I'm hoping for.
Okay, we have to get that cleared though through them.
Right, we should know, the county should go ahead and schedule their final adoption well before, we'll have to send notice and send the ads out. So we'll know, hopefully by the next meeting on September 8th.
Okay. Questions for Debbie, anybody? Debbie, thanks again.
All right, thank you.
All right. Sandy?
Morning, everybody. As most of us have known, we've had this temporary antenna here in the Public Works yard for almost over a year at this point. Finally, all of Bay County Emergency Services, so Bay County Sheriff's Office, who have been on it for probably almost 6 months at this point, but now Bay County EMS, Mexico Beach, and all other fire departments are now based on this new digital system, which should make it much easier for us to communicate with everybody that works within the emergency services of Bay County, so that's a big plus. It's only taken about 3 years to finally make it all happen, but it has now happened. For those of you who might be looking slightly further south, the tropics have warmed up again. We do have a storm whose predicted path at the moment is to come up the west coast of Florida and to land in Apalachicola with sustained winds of 60 miles an hour on Sunday evening. As we all know, it's a long way out. That can move east or west, and we should be keeping a close eye on it. But that is the latest that I got this morning at 9 o'clock. So just keep your eyes and ears open, and if we have any further updates from the city, we'll let you know in regards to anything that we might need to. Other than that, I have no further information. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thanks, Sandy. Appreciate it. Police Department?
All
Sheriff
right.
Department?
Council, we, month of July went pretty smoothly and everything. We didn't have a whole lot of problems. During the month of July, we had 223 calls for service, 42 traffic stops, citations is 6, warning citations is 40, arrests 7, traffic accidents 4, and we patrolled 11,027 miles altogether. And that's about all we got for today.
Any questions? All right. Thank you, Lieutenant. Appreciate it. Building, I don't think we have. Do you have anything more?
She gave me a report to
Okay.
read out for everyone if they'd like. Just a little bit of history. In 2019, 500 homes were rebuilt that were just damaged, and 66 brand new homes were built in 2019. In 2020, 276 homes were rebuilt and 112 brand new homes were built. In 2021, 86 damaged homes were rebuilt and 73 brand new homes were built. Gives us a total of 1,120 homes that are currently occupiable today. And then on commercial, 22 commercial projects have come back online since the storm.
Well, we all thought there was a lot going on. Obviously, it is. All right. Any questions? Kathy?
Well, on a bad note, I thought I was going to have to put my house up for sale yesterday. The snake decided to take up residency in my backyard. But luckily for him, he went through the fence and now he's living somewhere else. So he has to come to the state.
There's a black snake.
It's a
Okay.
It's in
Been on the right side.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Okay.
We've got about 6 lots we cleared last week. Been working on those, trying to get some of the weeds down in order to prevent the snakes from taking up residency. And we had a few people that have cleaned up their properties. It looks really good, getting better out there. We sent 3 homes to special masters.
Okay. Question for Cody?
What's the latest on 4th Street?
Mr. Diller? I stopped by there twice last week, and both times he wasn't there. His truck was there, but nobody answered the door. I'm just gonna send him another violation. I don't know if he's been on vacation or if he just, I don't know.
He has not been sent to the special master. Thank you.
Is that all? What has been the dialogue there?
He's been over to the city. I said, City Hall, and keeps promising he's gonna work with the loan people. He's trying to get a loan, was the last information we got from him.
Is he not in violation?
He's in violation, yes.
You didn't know there?
Sure. Now, if he's in violation, I think we need to treat it like he's in violation.
How many more times can we give him a ticket before he goes to special master?
I would send him over to special master today.
I think 2.5 years.
It's been a long time. He's, you know, I like the fella. He's a nice fella, but he's playing the system. And I wouldn't have no problems if he was sitting here saying something. I think he needs to be taken to special master, personally.
Well, I would think, and take this how everyone will, but we went through the rules. We decided what the rules were. I don't know why we need to do that again.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's in violation, it's in violation.
So we take it to the special master.
Well, I would think that would be this administration's position to make that. I mean, that's, we supposedly gave the tools to do it. So I don't know why we need to discuss it. Each individual, if it's in violation,
Right.
it's in violation.
I agree.
Okay. Utilities or public works.
Good morning, Council. First thing, I'd like to say that we completed the stormwater project at the end of 15th Street. That was from La Fiesta to 386. The guys from the road department, Tim and Andy, done an excellent job. I think that's going to help tremendously on the amount of water that goes down those ditches from all the rain that we have. Also, want to give an update on the marina. Duke Energy is down there as we speak with Current Solutions. They're making the final tie-ins today and tomorrow on the boat slips. After tomorrow, they're going to energize those. We should have full power back on all of our boat slips by tomorrow afternoon. Give an update on the street signs. We did get the rest of our street signs in, and we're in the process now of putting the signs together. We'll assemble all the signs here at the yard, and then we'll start the process of starting at one end of the city, working our way all the way through to replace all the street signs that were lost during the storm. So that's kicking off also. Sanitation, so far this month, we picked up 85,300 pounds of trash. I also want to make a note that with the storms that we were talking about earlier, Chief Sandy, it could possibly come this way. As always, the city will have sandbags and sand up here at City Hall. We put the bags up, go in the front door. If you need to pick up some sandbags, and then we'll have a pile of sand out here by the playground if you want to stop out there and fill it up. We always have that out there if you need it. Other than that, Mayor, we're just doing normal grass cutting, cleaning sidewalks off, stuff that we normally do during the summer. Any questions?
Hey, Tommy, any word yet back from Duke on the missing overhead lights?
I have not heard anything back from them. I will talk to them this week or so and find out if there is one missing specifically on Colorado. We'll make sure they go ahead and get that back put
Well,
back.
I know just my street, we have three. We have one.
Right.
And at the end of the street where you get down to Mark's Place and the liquor store is and all that, at night, you can't see a thing. If you're
Right.
walking on that street, it's totally pitch black.
Yeah, I'll ask them specifically because I know you mentioned that several times in the meeting, and I know they are working on the city-wide to find out which lights were here prior to the storm, which ones were here after, we could get our lights put back up. But I will check on that, like I said, and if there's any missing there on Colorado, we need to get those back up because some of the streets is dark. Anything else?
Yeah. Tim, if you would, on the project list, add street lights to that list. It'll be on there every week, so every time we meet, so
Yeah.
then you'll know it. And
That's right, yeah, they need to make a movement on that. I know they're probably behind on a lot of things, but, there's no reason, this far along, we're near about 3 years now since it's going.
Okay.
They hadn't.
just add that to the list. Yes, sir.
I went to a meeting with Duke Energy, I think 2 weeks ago, and one of the things that Duke Energy has unveiled is an interactive street light map system. We'll post it on our website and on Facebook, but you can go on that website and it shows where all the lights are supposed to be. And then you can tag those lights and it sends an instant message to Duke Energy. Because again, if you told us we'd call Duke, and that process, this gives the tool to everybody in their own hands. So it should help. I'm hopeful that they've mapped out all the lights that we have here. But again, it's an interactive system so that everybody can interact and basically flag things as needed.
Okay.
And I do know that our fire department and our sheriff's department, as they drive through the neighborhoods, they know how to call in lights.
Oh, yeah, I can call in lights too. You
so-
just can't talk to them about missing lights. That's the problem.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anything else? Thank you, Tom. Kevin?
Sir, things going pretty good. I guess y'all know we had a 8-inch gravel line we got hit probably about a year ago. When you're looking about 6-7 feet deep, you don't find it until way after the fact. Went out and got 3 quotes. GAC was the lowest. It's been repaired. They're going to probably put asphalt down today on that road. It's on St. Francis in Casuna. I'm going to reach out to the Board and Company and let them know, heads up, going to be sending a bill. Try to recoup our costs for that. I pulled 4 pumps out of lift stations that were picked up yesterday to go out and get checked to see if they can be rebuilt. It'd be cheaper to rebuild them instead of buying a new one if they can be rebuilt. 2 are on South 36th Street pump station, which made the Hurricane Michael for all the sand and stuff that got in them. So until they break them down, and we're trying to go that route and get that station hopefully back up soon. I got Thursday, we should be getting power back to that station, and then it's just a matter of waiting on the pumps to get rebuilt, put back in there, and then we can get rid of that bypass pump that's down there. We had 185 rereads last month, went way down from before. That rain makes a difference when it floods, when they don't pick up really good, but we've been changing out a lot of meters as well. Other than that, everything's going pretty good.
Okay. On the emergency repair, have we reached out? Did we reach out prior to the repair?
No, sir, I didn't know who done it, I just found out who they were.
You have to dig the hole up to find out who.
Yeah. It was
Okay,
a phone
so-
line, cable, who it was.
Okay. But we do know that now. Okay. So if they say, no, we didn't do it,
We have photos.
oh,
It shows their directional bore is the one that cut through the soil.
okay, we have something other than.
That's what we had to, we literally had to dig down 8 feet into the ground to uncover where the line had been cut.
Cut, to see
And
what
then-
cable went
And
through
then you
it.
could see what cables go through the cut.
Gotcha. Thank you, Kevin. Okay,
8th Street, how about that pump there? What we got to do to
We're
get
still
rid of it?
waiting to get that station repaired. It's on
Repaired.
the list of other stations too.
Good.
all right, moving on, regular agenda items.
Blueberry.
Blueberry. Will it leave somebody else?
Yeah.
Sure did, David.
Yes, sir.
You over there sleeping, I'll let you go. What you got?
Morning. Well, my list is actually getting a little shorter here, but the Sunset Park, we've designed everything we can. It's in the hands of the DEP right now. Once we get that permit, I think we're in shape to start construction. I'm gonna talk to them and try to expedite it, but they're not moving very fast right now. And other than that, I've been working with Tommy on stormwater, trying to help them figure out the major outfall routes, and we'll start looking at some of the minor feet to get to the major points and keep trying to help out.
Did we get the bucket for the,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Have we used it?
Yeah. Down 15th Street. It's been a good piece to have.
Okay.
Mayor, if it's okay, if we could open up one more level of dialogue with David while we've got him here.
Sure.
One is the sewer lines crossing 98 in Gulf County. I do have a report from Sherry that says that there are 83.7 PRUs, equivalent residential units, that cross that line. Keeping in mind that what we have are 2 lift stations. Those 2 lift stations were done for the nursing home area, and then they push the sewer to the manhole that's on 386. From that point forward, all the lines that tie in are not tying into that lift station. They're tying in below the lift station with their own grinder pumps of their own and pushing sewer down the road. David has some input that he got from his crew over in the Panama City office, and I felt it would be a good idea to go ahead and share that.
Yeah, so we basically took all the information that we had, and what Mario provided, and our utility guys reanalyzed that whole system from the lift station all the way back to the point where it goes into the gravity. And basically what they said was, and keep in mind these pumps are 20 years old. They reached out to IPP Flight, which I think is the pump manufacturer, got the original data when the lift stations were started, and just basically ran numbers. And it's not so much the capacity of a 4-inch, how much you can push through a 4-inch line. It's more going back to the lift station. Those pumps are up against like a head boss based on the length of the pipe, and what they told us was every grinder pump attached to that 4-inch that contributes flow has the potential to have consequences on the way the lift station acts based on a head loss. So basically, if you think about going down the highway and all of a sudden you get a traffic jam, you have to slow down. So and then the other consequence would be if that lift station is flowing, the grinder is putting so much pressure out, the grinder pumps might not be able to work their way into the 4-inch force main, which may cause a backup at the house itself. So they recommend no more additions onto that line. Now granted, all that scenario I just told you is based on a peak performance, everything operating at one time, which typically won't happen, but when it does, you might have some issues.
The other piece of information that is worthwhile is Sherry also provided some of the history on that, how those lift stations went into play, how it was transferred over to the city. And in those original contracts, Gulf County was supposed to have its own system and take over that system within 4 to 5 years. That 4 to 5 years has gone over by about 6 more times. Any cost associated with those lift stations are to be transferred over to Gulf County. So any cost replacing those pumps, anything outside of the norm is supposed to be billed to Gulf County. So it's something that we'll circle back and bill Gulf County, but it's probably worthwhile having a conversation with Gulf County to take their system back over and let them have their own system.
They don't have a system.
They were supposed to, again, according to all those conversations.
You're right, they were supposed to.
But if they don't, then we have the ability to renegotiate that deal. And
Is that in the original agreement?
Yes.
Or do we have something like an MOU or something that says,
yes, sir.
okay, we have that. So David, how does that affect those approvals that we just, that we agreed to?
Well, the list that we got from Mario, I believe, included all the ones that were previously approved.
Okay, so they're accounted for.
They've already accounted for in
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, our line in Beacon Hill is gravity fed, is it not? Is it?
No.
Even, I mean, what's force main, our main, but what about the retirement center?
It gravities into the lift station.
That's what I mean. It's gravity like us.
Right.
That's the only gravity line up there. All the others are grinder pumps. Well, is that, anybody have any questions about that? That is an item, I think, coming up.
Yeah, we have a change.
Change it, yeah.
It would require you to approve any
Okay.
new connections.
All right, we'll hang loose end of it. Okay. Thank you.
I would like David to provide his input on the road resurfacing. I sent him a copy of the revised bid tab for the street resurfacing project. And what you have here, if you look at the first couple of pages, it adds up to 1.5 million, which is what the council approved to move forward. If you look at the last two pages, it's what the actual bid was for. What the contractor did was he looked at our roads, he took a stab at the ones that are in the worst condition, and freezing the unit price, didn't change any unit prices. He added quantity in some places and reduced some quantity in other places, basically to match the dollar figure that the council wished to spend on the resurfacing. And I have this before you just in an abundance of caution because we are doing something that is just not standard. So I wanted you all to look at how they had broken out the 1.5 million. If you look at item number 6, there's approximately 20,000 cubic yards at $29.50 versus if you look at the old bid, they had 13,000 square yards at $29, but then they had 12,000 cubic yards at $61, and they got rid of the $61 a cubic yard. So we pushed money into the place where it would have the most effect, and they also felt like some of these items, detail 2 was just a lot of work with not a lot of bang for your buck. So if you would like to give us at least a acknowledgement that this is moving in the right direction, it would be helpful to us.
Well, is this an agenda item?
No, sir, it is not. It's more a courtesy type thing.
Okay.
And it's really, I know that David had it in front of him, and I think the contractor may have reached out to you. So
yeah, it's a good collaboration of how we've got X dollars, city's got X dollars from FEMA, and we're backing in how to spend it. And based on the 2 plans that we provided, I think it's a good collaboration combination of how to get that done.
Yeah, the work is mixed a little differently than what it was discussed at during the meeting when you approved this. That's why you're seeing this again, in case you had any concerns about it, just to ensure that.
We just approved a dollar amount.
That was the most important thing you approved, yeah.
Okay. Well, for me, I trust it. We've looked at it, we've walked it, which I know we have, and that we're negotiating where we get the best bang for our dollar. So in other words, if there's no objections, is what the
If there's no
bottom line.
objections, then
You're going to move on. Okay. All right, council.
Move on.
Move on. Move on. Any other comments? Anything else? Moving on then to second reading of ordinance 765, which deals with accessory dwelling units in residential low density area. Well, it's not. This just removes that. This is our second reading. Is there a motion to read?
Make a motion to read ordinance 765 by title only.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any opposition to reading? Please do so.
Ordinance 765, second reading. An ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, amending the Land Development Code to eliminate section 2.05.01 regarding accessory dwelling units and other references to accessory dwelling units, providing for codification, repealing ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict, providing for severability and an immediately effective date.
Thank you. All right, is there a motion to adopt?
Make a motion, we approve ordinance 765.
Second.
Discussion or comments? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy,
Yes.
Mr. Pollak,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Cole,
Yes.
Mr. Key.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2 on that agenda is the second reading of ordinance 766. Nick, I'm gonna pass this, or tomorrow, I still have some confusion about this rezoning. And I say confusion, I'm just not used to doing this way, so, would you or Mario, one, give us, before we open the public hearing, what we're doing here?
Sure. Early on, we had a bunch of places that were doing variances because they didn't have townhome and they inherited townhomes. This is one of the parcels that did not go into the townhome district because the parcel as a whole was too large. So it was passed over because the parcel did not meet the requirements for us. What did happen in this parcel is, I believe it was a condominium. So it was several parcels that were put together that were acting like it, but again, because it was one parcel, it didn't do that. They have more than 3 homes, they want to put 3 homes, and it's a simple transition to take it into townhomes where it would allow them to put the 3 homes, or they could go back in and build their condos the way that they had them before. So it's before you to do the change to allow them to go to townhome.
It's,
So, approximately.
yes, and it's also before you because while we know the intent of that townhome district was for very narrow lots, there wasn't a black and white size limit put into it, so they could still apply for this townhome zoning.
So because of the size of the parcel, it wasn't included originally?
Correct.
Okay. All right, we're going to open the public hearing for ordinance, for the second reading of ordinance 766. Are there those here to speak? Yes, sir.
Yes, we went through this last month, but to refresh y'all's memory, this was a single lot.
Excuse me, name,
Joseph
please.
Lindsay, yes, thank you, at 110 South 40th Street. Now that property had a condominium. I don't know if it was legally a condominium, but the property, there were 4 individually metered and individually owned units under a single roof with breezeway in between. However, they had a bagman that paid the taxes to Bay County every year. So there was a single tax ID, but they were individually owned, and we have the names of the owners and the history of the ownership on each of those units. What we want is for the family, and our family is all next door, to basically sever the property up so that we can build individual units as were there before, but to have them legally separate.
Excuse me. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I recall everything,
Okay.
and I got a tour.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any questions, Mr. Mayor?
No, sir. I wanted clarification more for the record in the beginning
Okay.
than I did for myself. Thank you. Anyone else to speak? Before we close the public hearing, any other comments? Okay, we'll close the public hearing and move to the table for a motion or discussion. And what's before us is to simply rezone that to townhome district.
But the property, I'm a little confused on it, I think. And I forgot about, we done went through it one time.
We did it once, and like we stated, this was an old, I'm talking way back, by definition, practically a condo.
And Mayor, this is one step in about a 4-step process. Once they get the townhome district, then they'll have to plat the lot into
Good
the
point.
lots that they want to do. So
Yes.
this is one of 5 steps. We are nowhere near done with this, and this will be a formal plat. This will not be one that I can just stamp. This is one that they'll have to get engineers, they'll have to do legal descriptions and go
It's
through.
very similar to, and it's not almost identical to all of those that we have done where they were those little, I refer to it as the pier road lots, where there were those, what were they, 20 foot or 17 foot or whatever they were. And this parcel has both of those zoning categories on both sides of it. Yeah. So it's just because of the size of that parcel in the initial mapping of townhome districts, it was, I guess, omitted.
No, it was called out. It was not omitted. It was literally, it was called out. because
Called out to-
It was a condo, so condos.
Condo
do not-
didn't qualify.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
If you look on the property appraiser then and now, regardless of whether there are multiple units there, we're just shown as one parcel. So it just looked like one regular size.
One regular size lot, exactly. Okay, again, this is for the second reading to move forward with that process. Chair will entertain a motion or questions.
I'll make a motion unless someone has a question. Motion to read ordinance 766 by title only.
Sharon, excuse me, did you second?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you please read?
Ordinance 766, second reading. An ordinance rezoning from high-density residential to townhome district that certain parcel of land lying within the city of Mexico Beach, Florida, containing approximately 0.172 acres, located at 110 40th Street with parcel ID number 04108-010-000, all as more particularly described in the body of the ordinance, repealing all ordinances or parts of an ordinance in conflict, and providing that this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon its passage.
Mario, we need to fill in the blank on the ordinance, but what was the planning and zoning recommendation on this?
I believe it was to approve. I'd have to double check on that.
I can probably double check.
I make a motion we approve ordinance 766.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. The blanks to be filled in.
Just dates and what the.
Yeah, I know, but that is fine with what's in front of us.
Yes.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any further questions? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Keith?
Yes.
All right, moving on to number 3. This is the first reading of ordinance 767 that deals with the discussion we had earlier concerning the Gulf County or non-service area that we for sewer. This is the first reading. And do we have any questions, or are we ready to move for the first reading? Remember, it's just the first reading, so, but now's a good time if there's, I'll ask my question because under number 2, under amendments to code, I just, help me understand why we call out travel trailers, mobile homes, mobile campers, and recreational vehicles.
Which?
Under the whereases, below those, under section 2, I'm just curious why those particular items are listed.
FEMA place? I'm guessing it's just a mistake left over from the prior template, but I'm looking.
Okay.
That's just an error. I used the prior ordinance as a template for this, and I just need to update that language. It should refer to trailers and motorhomes. It should refer to connections with water and sewer system outside of the city. I can correct that.
So let me ask you, in light of what we just discussed, from both the administrator and Dewberry, it sounds like we're through anyway. I mean, without a service area, out of service connections to Gulf County. Did everybody, that way everybody understood that that's what y'all said was that the line and the grinder pumps and the back pressure and all that, we're, quote, maxed. So if that is the case, is the writing of this, doesn't this need to be, or is it still just need, really what it says is we have to get city council approval?
That's what it says. And before and after this was approved, it always was based on there being the ability to serve and capacity and the system functioning. The information we had this morning was newer than when we wrote this ordinance. This would still work fine for you because there may be times in the future when some of those calculations are different or some upgrades would be in. But I think the original goal here was to ensure that this was a council decision instead of a staff decision.
Right, I agree. Should we table it based on getting the right language, or are we good with it the way it is? I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it. That's not the way I see it. I don't see any damage.
It's the first reading, so on the second reading it'll be finished.
Yeah, the language that I said was an error won't matter for proceeding.
Okay.
If you want to think about this further as far as big picture, you can take it.
Well, for me, I think that the council should be the deciding factor on that, or decision maker on any out of service area request. And that's really what this does. That's all it does. And even though that one that we now say is maxed out, we don't know what might happen down the road. Somebody, we now know if we pass this, that it won't be done like it's been done in the past. Right? Let's put it that way. So, I'm okay with having the first reading and getting the little, those are relatively minor corrections.
Yeah, the section number is correct. The changes to the language is correct. That was just the title of the section that was incorrect.
Council pleasure. Anybody object to having the first reading? If so, we'll entertain a motion.
If we make a motion, what do I need to put in there for section 2 that it's going to be rewritten prior?
Well, I think
just leave it.
It'll be fine. You don't have to add it to your motion.
All right. We'll make a motion to read ordinance 767 by title only.
A second.
We have a motion to second. Any objection to reading? Please do so.
Ordinance 767, first reading. An ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, amending section 52.30 of the City Code regarding connections with the water sewer system outside the city, providing that only the City Council may approve an application for services outside the city, providing for severability codification, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, moving on to number 4. This got brought up 2 meetings ago where we thought maybe we didn't have the right language for us being the only sanitation provider. That was certainly the intent years ago. And the way I see this, it just simply clarifies that we are. only bold letters, I mean, they're only bold and underlined. It's clear that states and cities, the only provider of garbage and sanitation service. And I had a question, are we aware of any other sanitation service trying to service our community? Is anyone aware of any? Okay. I was not either, I was just curious.
And that's an important question, because we did have another provider active.
Yeah.
It's a different, more difficult process to do this, but I don't think we have another provider.
I'm not aware either, I just wanted to ask if anybody knew.
It's a good question.
Okay, is there a motion, again, this is first reading, is there a motion to read ordinance 768 by title only?
Yeah, I have a question. Can I just ask a question about this before you read it?
Yeah.
Why are you even bringing this up for? I mean, I realized a couple of meetings ago, I raised hell about the garbage trucks dumping crap all over the streets and everything else, but to have an ordinance saying you'll never look at another garbage provider, that makes no sense. It would be like saying you had an ordinance, we're only going to use Mexico Beach Police Department, and you couldn't use anything else. Why are you even putting this in here for? 2 years from now, you might decide that, hey, we don't need to do this anymore, it's too expensive. Especially after you get everything else going on here with the 200 apartments and this and that and everything else that's coming. You might want to get a provider in here.
Well,
I mean, is there a need to do this?
Well, I think it,
I think it really came up because the staff was getting inquiries about whether additional providers could come into the city. The language in the code is, it's not black and white about that, even though that's always been the intent. And it's to help staff and to avoid confusion and problems where maybe there is a second provider when there's supposed to be, and then we have to figure out how to discontinue them. It's a lot harder than to say up front very clearly that the city is the only provider.
Well, if we go ahead and do this ordinance, then we don't have any issues down the road with somebody else coming in and then, like you say, having to terminate them or whatever. And if we want to do something later, per Rob's question, we can always do that.
Of course.
So,
I've never known it to be an issue. I think it was implied from, I'm talking 20 years ago when the sanitation service evolved, but evidently there's some language that doesn't make it clear. And that's okay. We can. All right, so is there a motion to read ordinance 7, again, first reading by title only?
make a motion to read ordinance 768 by title only.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any opposition to reading? Please do so.
Ordinance 768, first reading. An ordinance of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, amending section 51.01 of the City Code regarding sanitation service, confirming that the city shall be the only provider of regularly scheduled garbage pickup and other sanitation and debris services that the city provides, providing for severability, codification, and providing an effective date.
And obviously, y'all know that those go, second readings go on our regular agenda for the preceding month. All right, number 5 is a resolution, which was discussed earlier concerning the emergency repairs for St. Francis Street. Are there any other questions concerning this? This is obviously to get in the record that we acknowledge that was done. Right. Well, like I said, there was emergency repairs.
And there were, I think there's some backup materials in your packet too.
Yes, there is.
This is clearly the low price of the option.
Right.
It was a fiber optic line too. Don't do it.
That was one of those. One person that does that.
Just on.
I got you. All right, is there a motion to read Resolution 2134?
I make a motion to read resolution 2134 by title only.
Second.
Motion to second, please read.
Resolution 2134. A resolution of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, approving a proposal with GAC Contractors to repair broken sewer main on St. Francis Street for an emergency expenditure of $14,150.
Motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve resolution 21-34.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Kathy?
Yes.
Mr. Pollak?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Call?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
All right, moving to number 6. Who is, Mars, is this you?
Now, the council talked about sunsetting utilities in Gulf County. In light of what was said by Dewberry, there's probably no need to sunset it because it sounds like the door just got shut.
Now, in discussion, further discussion, we will notify Gulf County. Well, that process is Gulf County really doesn't get involved. They just come to us, the owner of the property. They don't. They have no dialogue with Gulf County, do they? Well, they got
Probably to pull a permit, there may be homes now that won't be permittable because they
Oh, yeah,
they don't have
that's right.
access
So
to
we
it.
certainly need to send them a notice. Bill, you're right, the building department, if they apply for a home. You're right, okay. And the language on the pumps, you say we have something, should we circle around with that?
I'll circle around with that and let them know that, Mexico Beach honored that agreement for
Right, 15 years.
15 years when it was only supposed to be a 4-year agreement, so.
All right, so then technically number 6, I could say is handled. I mean, it appears that it is until whatever might change it to come before the council. So, all right, so there's nothing really more to move forward with on that. All right, number 7. Darrell, that's you.
I want to have a discussion on the right-of-way roped areas. It was brought to my attention, and there's a lot of people putting roped areas on the right-of-way. And the primary issue with it is more down the roads that go to the beach, where people will go down there and try to park on the right-of-way and access the walkovers. So, but there's a lot of people doing it, and I don't know if everybody's asking for permission or not. I know some have, but it was an item I thought needed to be talked about so that everybody was clear and we could get it all out in the open and go from there.
Darrell,
Yes.
let me address you. I was actually going to speak about that at Citizens Forum. It was an agenda item. Just 3 weeks ago, I had somebody visiting. Take my street legal golf cart, go down here, hang a left, just past the condos, try to go out to the beach. The whole damn road, from one end to the other end, is ropes. Right down where the concrete is.
No.
Park my golf cart in the street. You can't even get out of it because there's a rope next to it. What's giving these people the idea that they can own the right of way?
I don't know.
I can't do it in my house.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's giving them the idea, but I think there's probably a misconception of where your property starts, and most people don't take into consideration
Back when
that your
98
property is typically 12 and a half feet
Yeah, 10 feet or 12 feet. Most of them are 10, but
from the pavement.
yeah, most of them are 10 feet. I don't know if there's anything even less than that, but on 98, when it was discussed 2 city managers ago, building 98 with parking on an angle, I brought up about all side streets going down to the beach. And it was addressed that you can park anywhere you want on the side streets of the city right away. So I don't know what happened to that.
Well, I think what happened is a lot of homes got rebuilt, and those people put in nice yards and pavers and concrete, and they didn't want people driving on what they considered their property when it's actually not their property. So
it's a difficult situation to, you know, I sit both sides of the fence as far as thinking about it without, I mean, I see why people don't want anyone driving on their new yard, but that's not their yard until they get to their property line. So if the city goes and works on that right away, they fix whatever was there. So they have an obligation to fix that stuff. So, but it's a matter of, I mean, it's in the ordinance. It's been an ordinance a long time. It's nothing new, but we just, you know, people are violating it. So.
There's empty dirt lots that are roped off.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, empty dirt lots that are roped off from one end to the other, right?
Which road was that?
Just past the condos down here on the left.
40th,
Past the,
41st or something like that?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
40th.
Okay. So, anyhow, I know that there are people that want to talk about this. So,
Can I speak?
are we ready for public?
Sure.
Yep, Bruce.
My name is Bruce Van Arsdale. I live at 56 Azalea. I spent a lot of money on my yard, and I made 3 phone calls. 3, not 1, not 2, but 3, to city officials. I asked if I could put posts and rope by the road. No problem, Bruce, put it in. So I put it in. I thought I was doing the right thing. Mr. Mayor, he's my neighbor. He came by the day after. He said, why you put that in? I said, well, I made 3 calls. I got permission, so I put it in. So what do you want me to do? Nothing. So we'll do anything right now. So I spent a lot of money. I don't know what to do. How long has the LDR been in effect? I don't know.
30 years.
30 years. Well, you got a lot of ropes, a lot of trees, a lot of concrete, a lot of structures in easements. And I guess it's been going on for 30 years. I don't know. All I know is my situation.
I have a question regarding that.
This is my wife, Jan.
In the LDR, does it say unless given permission by the city or the state that you cannot have a structure or a permanent structure on that property unless you've been given permission by the city or the state? That's what I read.
The LDR has 2 sections that are helpful to this conversation. One is about protecting the right-of-way. It's nothing specific about any kind of construction or fence or anything. It just basically says things can't be constructed in the right-of-way. The city's supposed to protect the right-of-way for utility purposes and future expansions. The other section that's relevant are the rules on fences, because these are, I'd say they're a type of fence. And there's fairly specific rules about front yard fences. There's not much allowed as far as front yard fences. I think it's 3-foot landscaping fences.
But you have fences. There's fences in the city. In the easements. With bushes all around them.
Have all those people been given permission? That, to me, that's the
The
only
answer to
question.
that is no. There has been no permission given. The fact that y'all were given permission disturbed me greatly. The others, these ropes and these pilings and these other things around town are just that people put them up there. And you have to remember, in 10/10 of 18, that wasn't there. So this is all new. This isn't something that's been there. The fact that it's in the LDR. These are all areas of right-of-way misuse that have come about. There's more construction. Nobody wants to pull off the road. No one wants to, those that fix your yards. It's obvious that it's just a matter of that we gave permission is shame on us city.
But does the
Clear and
city
simple.
stand by what it says?
Clear and simple. It says that you can only have, the section of the LDR that I referenced was that it says temporary use only.
The request or the conversation, was it specifically about placement in the right of way, or did the city staff think that this was outside of the right of way?
Ask the city staff what they thought. Ask those people. what
Jan,
they-
excuse me, but we know what the city staff said, okay? We don't need to call them out. That's not what we're trying to do.
Well, I'm just
We know
saying-
you were given permission, and I think that's really all that's necessary. It's in my opinion that the people that made that decision didn't have that they just made a mistake. I don't think we need to, that was wrong. I don't know of any others that have come to this council, I'm not aware of any since the storm, that said, hey, I want to put something in the right of way. I'm not aware of that.
Since the storm or anytime?
No, after the storm.
Oh.
So the storm has created where people just, and if you ride around, it's clear where the property lines are. This town's been surveyed 50 times, the entire city. So it's easy to see where people's property lines are. It is my suggestion that we simply go back to what the ordinance says, and if we gave someone permission, like Bruce and Jan, that we either move it for them, or we pay them for what we told them they can put there. It's that simple. I don't think we need to start making concessions because we made a mistake. I'm not for doing that. I don't think that's the way that the town needs to adopt our policy. It was on the books. The right-of-ways are clearly, I mean, there's no question. And those that have ropes, or they're considered blocking the right-of-way. You know, I suggested we did the same with the trash containers. We simply move them. I mean, you can pick up 2 posts and lay them over there. You can put a red tag on it and say, hey, you're in the right of way. I mean, there's a lot of ways to do that. But I don't think we should take things that we make because the storm created people doing things and we were too busy doing something else, should start allowing our right of ways to become blocked off permanently. It says in the ordinance, I see your hand, Bob. I'm going to get to you, okay? I see. Okay, I just wanted to know. I don't think that's the rule that I'm in favor of adopting. Is that, well, they asked somebody, they asked 3 people, and they got the wrong answer. That becomes, well, okay, it's okay to do it. I just think we ought to follow the rules.
Are all the right of ways going to be? Is that going to be the rule for everybody? I guess. Everybody that's got.
Well, you asked. Those that didn't ask, they don't have any order.
So you want to clear all the right of ways? Well, that's my question.
I don't know why that would be a concern. I mean, I'm not here to speak to what we're going to do for all the right of ways.
That's just.
I'm just saying how I feel about it, that we should take the right of ways and not allow bollards and concrete pilings and fences and things that prohibit. I see it too as a safety issue.
Well, yours is, what we're doing isn't prohibiting the city from getting onto the property, it's just ropes. You can drive around them, you can get on
I
them.
know, but it's
I do want to.
like Bruce. I mean, like Daryl said, it's not your property.
Mr. Ralph, can I say something?
Yeah.
We're going to, Tommy and I will run into this. Those are typically going to be your drainage paths to your outfalls. So any landscaping or anything that's in the right of way, that's where a ditch is supposed to be, is blocking it, is it's going to create worse problems for your stormwater. And Tommy and I going through, we're seeing this now where people have gone through and did landscaping and just filled out the side. And it's cut down the drainage paths.
There's a lot of landscaping, a lot of palm trees, a lot of structures, a lot. So that's all I got to say.
Well, before you gonna let Bob speak?
I am. I was waiting to see. I thought you.
Well, I think that with what David just said, to reiterate, storm sewer is a major issue for the city, and so it's going to come to the point where some of these folks that have yards may end up having either their yard dug up and the pipe put in, or a ditch put in, or whatever, because we got to get water into some inverted swells or pipes for the storm sewer, because we should be flooding as bad as we're flooding every time, which is really gonna come to the head here soon on the storm sewer stuff, which they're working on now. And I think Dave's just started with Tommy going around trying to figure out what, and identifying some of those areas that we're gonna have to work on. Yes?
Mr. Mayor, I want to clarify something. I was not asking for the people who gave us permission to be called out. I was simply responding to the gentleman who asked us. Do the people who you asked, did they know what you were asking? I can't answer that, but they can. That was the reason I said you need to ask them, not to call them.
I have asked them, and they said they didn't know any better. They thought they were doing the right thing.
Right.
Mayor, I want to say one thing because Bruce called me first. I did not tell him he could put them there. I told Bruce that he needed to check with the building department or with the code enforcer. I did not say he could put them there. So I do want to clarify that. I forwarded that question because I wasn't sure.
Okay, well, look, the fact that we gave permission, there's nothing wrong with making a mistake. We don't need to stay in that mud hole. I'm not here to criticize any of the people that made it. It's just clearly a mistake for us, for those that did that, to say that it's okay to do. That's all. I think what's important for us now that we put it up here is what are we going to do? So what do you want to do?
Well, I mean, I think with it, I think that we either have to enforce it or do away with it. We're not going to do away with it because it's our property. We can't do away with it. We have to have the ability to get in there. But like Bruce made mention, if he's got to do it, everybody's got to do it. Well, that's true because it's an ordinance, and so what we'll have to do is go around. And I would hope that instead of fining them to begin with, we give a letter of notification, say, look, you're in violation, and so you can move it back to your property line. And that's what everybody, which is another reason I wanted a discussion today, because I think a lot of people are not paying any attention. Nobody reads the LDR, they just go block, not unlike Bruce and Jan. And there's another situation with Bob, which is kind of an extenuating circumstance. He lives on the corner of C Street, and he, years ago, was given permission to put those poles up because people were running all over his yard because they were cutting the corner of that road. And pretty much everybody knows where C Street goes and makes that sharp curve. So I don't know what we do about those kinds of things. I think that there are some circumstances where you don't need to get on the shoulder. Another one comes to mind. We just recently, on 33rd, we dug out the end of the road and made the water drain away from the fellow's house. And that was really soft sand, and to allow people to park on that right there, they would be constantly being stuck. So the city put up poles right there, but it's our right of way. We can do that. We put up poles to keep people from parking on that particular part of it, to keep them from getting stuck on it.
That's a dead end street.
And it's a dead end street.
And that has nothing, in my opinion, that's not what we're seeing around.
That's correct.
Well, in the easement in front of my house, there's a storm drain.
Okay.
So if somebody pulls in on that easement and parks, they're going to go down. There's a drain right there in the middle. It runs the whole way of the easement.
Yeah. Well, and so, I don't want anybody to say, I'm full of favorites, because I'm not full of favorites. I just did a job for Bruce and Jan, favors. Okay, so, but I also, and they'll tell you, I told Bruce, I said, Bruce, I think you're wrong.
Yeah, you told me that.
And so.
After I did it.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I wish I'd have known before you did it, but I didn't know that. I didn't know what was in that.
I think there's a big difference between Bob and us and any other people who got permission from the city, which Bob did.
No, there's no question that those people that got permission have to be dealt with on a different.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a city. It's just like a person. What good is your word if you
So,
don't stand by it?
We'll have to discuss what we want to do in those two situations, don't you think?
I'm not aware but one, maybe Bruce and Jan are the only ones I know of
Since the storm.
since the storm.
But Bob said,
Well, Bob goes back 10 years,
Doesn't matter.
and was given permission by the city administrator.
Bob said he was not given permission by the city administrator.
Well, Bob's here, then maybe.
No, I did not say that.
Okay, well, I think what's happening is that we need to talk to the table
okay,
and not amongst those of you who are tenants. So what you raised your hand, Bob, what is it that you want to add to this?
2013, when we moved in there, people were cutting through the yard in trucks, RVs, motorcycles, golf carts, and I mean, they were cutting in the yard, not just on where the right of way is. So I put those in. Before I did, I talked to Bobby Pollock and Al, I talked to both of you at the time. Now, this is coming up, what, 9 years later for us, and we had the chief of police at the time come out there with the assistant chief to evaluate, and they even claimed that it was good for the safety because people were flying down that hill on C Street. Secondly, we did it in order to keep the general public from coming through there, because if something happened in an accident, guess who gets sued? It ain't going to be the city because it's a city right of way. It's going to be me. I'm not going to get into a dissertation, but I did. I asked the city manager, I asked the city police, I asked Al, I asked Bobby, even came over and looked at it. I asked 2 other city commissioners at the time and the public works guy. And I said, this is not a permanent structure as our lawyer has said it, and it doesn't come under the fence because it doesn't meet the rigors of a fence, at least at the time I put it in. And they are temporary, and I told your counterpart years ago that I can take a mallet and hit it and slide them out. They're not concrete again, they're temporary. I can take them out, move them over, you guys can do whatever you want to. So it's just architectural design to keep people from running through our yards, because the way the design of the road is, it allows them to do that. Anyway, thank you.
One other clarification. Every city from time to time will do a written right-of-way use agreement for special circumstances to allow people to do certain things in the right-of-way. It's just something you want to do very sparingly.
Sure.
For special situations, because otherwise it gets out of hand and you have too many things in the right-of-way and it's difficult to use the right-of-way. But that's an option. We just heard about in 2013. I mean, maybe that's what was intended. It just wasn't really put down into writing clearly.
so,
Yeah, this is your deal here. You got this bucket over, let's get it.
all right, so they made a mistake by telling Bruce that he could do that, and you said that you think we should be responsible for paying for it to move it.
I absolutely do.
Or paying for it.
Either offer to go move them, or say, look, give us some bills and what expense have you incurred? I mean, I don't think we should have, I don't think we can just say, well, sorry, we made a mistake, and no, I think we need to own it.
Well, I think Bob's is different. It's a curve there, and there's
And if there's others that we've done that to, I'm just not aware of it.
Yeah, I understand it. So, Bruce, would you have a problem with us going and setting them back to the property line?
I don't want them on the property line. That'd do me no good. It's not going to protect. It's not going to.
So
what's
then
the purpose of putting them in?
what is the remedy for you if we pay you for your time and then you have to take them up, or what do you want to do?
I'm not going to take them up.
So the city is going to take them up. Is that what you're saying?
If you want them out of there, but I think if you take mine up, the only fair thing is all of them got to come up.
Why would you single out?
Why
just
would you
us?
single me out? I feel like I'm being bullied.
No, I don't think you're going to be singled out.
Yeah, but
You're going to pay to go take everybody's out?
You're going to pay to take every palm tree out.
No, you're the only one that the city wrongfully so gave you permission to do it. And actually, The city didn't do it, the contractor that we have doing the building department, they're the ones who did it.
Oh,
But
excuse
that's part of
me,
the
excuse me, right there, Darryl. Because this is what, if you ask the correct question,
Okay,
you
what's
get the correct
question?
answer.
What's the correct question?
Can I put this in my yard?
Okay.
Yes, it's your yard. You can do whatever you want.
Okay,
If you put it in the right of way,
you can't,
you cannot.
okay.
Now, when they came to the building department or phoned the building department,
Okay.
they asked if they could put something to prevent parking. Our response was, that's handled by code enforcement. You didn't talk to me, you talked to Kelsey. And Kelsey said,
Easy. Now look, this is how things, you speak to the table. You don't speak to each other. Okay, it's just that simple.
you
Okay,
ask the
go
right
ahead.
question, you get the correct answer.
Okay, so what you're saying is, the question was asked, according to Kelsey, if they could put it in their yard.
If they could put something up, whether it was in their yard, how they specified it, I wasn't privy to the conversation.
Okay.
So, the part is correct answer, correct question.
Okay.
Now, Kelsey told me, it doesn't have anything to do with us. We govern the Florida Building Code.
Okay.
The city is over their LDR. We do enforce the LDR on new construction, as far as setbacks and things like that. But putting up something to prevent people from parking in your yard or in your right of way, that's not on the building department,
Okay.
okay? That is on the city.
Okay.
She said it was okay with her, but she referred me to the code enforcement.
Code enforcement, because it is not on the building department.
Okay, let me sort of try to put a rope around this. I don't know how many ways you can say this. We made a mistake. Doesn't matter who we asked, in my opinion. It doesn't matter. We asked people, supposedly, these folks did what they thought was the right thing to do. And we made a mistake. I don't know why. I don't think we need to pin the tail on the donkey. I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested in is how do we, as a council, Bruce has said he didn't want to move. And that's okay. We can move. I think we should offer to move him to his property line. If he doesn't want him on the property line, then we should say, what have you, show us what you spent. And I don't think what we do with anybody else has any bearing on how we address someone that asked us and we made a mistake.
I agree.
That's all. It's just that simple. And for those, I think after this meeting, it is clear that those who they spoke to you don't, like you say, you don't need to try to get into trying to answer something that's not within your purview. Any city person. So, if specific, while their name is not specific on the right of way, it is turned into a Bruce and Jan decision, and I don't disagree with the other right-of-way issues. If they're causing a problem and they're permanent, then we ought to just, I think, when you don't follow your own rules, you get yourself in this where we're at. So, that's my take on it. Giving it back to you.
Okay.
Well, I think anything else to add? I mean, surely there's nothing else.
I'm just gonna ask, how do I stand? Because all I'm hearing is after the hurricane, and I was waiting.
Bob, I don't even think you're in this discussion, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Darryl,
So, to answer Bruce, I don't think Bruce and Jan are gonna leave satisfied that they got a resolution the way it should have been done unless we tell them what we're gonna do with the rest of the people.
Absolutely.
So those people, I think, but they're in violation. And I think if we go, if.
But we have if you have a violation, the code person says it doesn't set up a line.
That's right. So all I'm
These
saying
folks are
is.
different. They handle it
I
different.
understand, we handle it different.
That's right.
And they're the only ones we handle different. Everybody else, Kathy will need to go get in contact with them and say, you're in violation of the LDR for the right of way. You cannot block anything in the right of way. If you're gonna block your yard off, you're welcome to in your property line.
Just like a copy of that, it's clear what it says in there.
So that's not an issue for you, is it? Yeah.
Of course, that's a lot of work I have to go and do for something that I had no responsibility for prior to the hurricane or prior to 2019. Now I have to go around and get all these addresses and develop a letter and send it out. That's extremely time consuming, especially if it has to go certified.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know what to say other than that falls under your.
I can tell you I said it about when we got the same problem with the trash containers.
Yeah.
They're in the right of way. The ordinance is clear. That's not where they should be. It is clear. I mean, you can't write it any simpler. I suggested that our guys move. We didn't want to do that. I suggest that if it's, where you can just pick them up, they're on our right of way. We have the right to move them.
So you're saying instead of her going around, we go out and
Just lean them up against the pole and put a red tag or something on. I mean, it's
I don't have a problem with that.
Why you want us?
I don't have a problem with that. I was
We
just
want
trying
to do
be.
that.
I was just trying to be.
I understand. Well, we're
So Tommy gets to do
Y'all direct me to move, we'll remove it.
it. All right. So.
Well, what we should be doing is say, administrator, handle it. That's what we're doing.
When you get through, I got a couple of questions.
Go ahead. So I'm through.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
On what you sent me, Nick, federal decorative fence, read that to me.
Sure.
You had two different ordinances we had before and after, and they sort of didn't really go.
Sure. It's from the Land Development Code. It's the fence section, so this is if you're interpreting these kinds of structures or posts as a fence. So front yard fences, there's side yard fences, backyard fences, front yard fences, and the rules are different. So the rule for a front yard fence says no fences shall be placed in front yards, the yard abutting a road or public right of way, and defined by extending the line of the front wall or principal structure to the side property lines, except as provided in section 2.0504 below. 2.0504, it's confusing because our code prior to 2019 had 2.0504, and I'll read it in a second. It's been renumbered to be I of the same section, which is an incorrect cross-reference. But the language is still there, it's all never changed. The exemption that is applicable here for a front yard fence is a non-opaque decorative fences used strictly for landscape purposes and not exceeding 3 feet in height may be placed in front yards. A chain link fence, for example, if less than 3 feet in height, does not constitute a decorative landscape fence. But on top of that is the idea of right of way versus yard. You have to be back into the yard, not in the right of way. Which is
Put it
more
in your yard, not our yard. That's the difference. That's for fences.
That's perfect.
Okay.
I think it's going to be as easy as you think it's going to be. I don't know why I think that. I just don't think it's going to be that easy. If we just go move them, I think we're going to end up, Nick's going to be in the middle of it.
I would get some notice out to the public before doing any activities to move things, because some people may say, well, I'll do it myself, I don't want you to mess my stuff up. That would be helpful.
Well, we were going to dig it. If the company came along and needed to put a pipe in the ground, we'd move it. What I'm saying is, we would. We would. They wouldn't be expecting that stuff to be there. It's the right of way. So you would dig it up, or you would bury, or whatever you have to do. I personally, I just disagree. I think if you could make up a notice and attach it to a rope or attach it to one of those poles. I don't know why we're.
You take the two with me. I think there's 37 of them I got pictures of around town and those road cruises and everything else. But you take somebody like Bob, just get the house, just manicured, he cuts that grass twice a week. It's the most prettiest yard in Mexico Beach, no doubt. And we pulled this post up.
Well, I don't disagree that people I mean, you won't find a pretty yard in my neighborhood.
I mean, Rock County Beach.
Well, it probably does, but I'm just, maybe that. But my point being, is,
I just, something tells me, I mean, I
Well,
know it belongs to us, but when the city goes and starts pulling up poles like he's had in the ground since 13, or down the road from me, they got to do the same thing. I don't know. I mean, and it's still in the LDR, and I know we can always make these rules and regulations, but enforce them, just try to keep to it right.
well, it's never been a problem. I just don't, I mean, here we are again trying to find a reason not to enforce it.
All right, we've got council here to represent us, to give us recommendations on how to stay out of trouble, and he recommends we do a notice. I think that we should do a notice. Mario, is that something that you guys can do, send out notices to those people?
We can put a notice on every home. If you want us to send it certified, that's a different task, but if you just notify
I think
it
we
doesn't matter. It would be
put it on the website, and I think we can take a round. I don't know, that's up to you, whether you think you need to do it certified or whatever, I don't know, but I do think, I think that they should get a notification prior to doing it.
Certified versus non-certified is just whether you're initiating code enforcement process, and it doesn't sound like that's the first step here. The first step is you just want your right of way to be cleared. The reason to do the notice, though, is some people will say, well, I'll take it out myself, I don't want to screw the yard up. And other people would say, wait, I have paperwork from whenever. Let me show you what we did in 2010 or something. That's a possibility. That would be good to give them that opportunity before city staff just removes something.
Yeah, well, I didn't open the can of worms. I just got thrown into the can of worms and said, you can't do that unless everybody can do that. So I said, well, we got to cover it. I mean, we're doing our job to cover it. So.
Can I say one more thing, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's really sad that with all the issues this city has after the hurricane, that it would major in something that is not an eyesore. We have some eyesores left in this city, and every single fence I've seen has been, in my opinion, beautification. It may be on city property, but it has not been an eyesore. So I think it's really sad that the city would spend their time and their money to go back and to alienate their homeowners. We want to be a friendly city, not one that majors in minor issues, in my opinion. That's all I have to say.
Okay, well, and I'm going to disagree with you, because you have to handle all the major situations and all the minor ones. You have to do the little things and the big things, so it's just a matter of us.
And all of a sudden, this has become a big issue because we put it up?
Not because because it did start with you. It started with me getting a call about so many people blocking off the beach roads. That's where it started. And I know Bruce knew that he was privy to the conversation that I had with Jonathan out there, because Jonathan was doing one of them. And I said, Jonathan, you need to move that back to the right of way. And he said, well, I'm not going to. I said, well, okay.
Well, I just think of all the citizens that you're going to alienate.
But
Take these down.
if I alienate a citizen, Jan, by making them follow the LDR, then I guess I'll just run in that risk, and I don't want anybody to feel badly that I'm just looking for ways to mess with them. But it came to my attention, it was brought to my attention, and it's in the code.
But you don't think they'll ask you why is it now, after all this time? Why are you?
Doesn't matter what they ask, in my opinion. It is what it is. Huh?
Okay.
Darrell, I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
This stuff has been on the right of way forever. I mean, it's been there. You're going to tear up half the city. I agree with that. What I asked you, my point was, You can't even go down a beach road. Empty lots, nothing there. Dirt. And poles all the way to the end. You can't park anywhere. And that's a purpose thing, 100% purpose to keep people from parking, because you can't park in the street. The street's only so wide, using the beach. The beach is everybody's beach. That's a whole different thing they're doing over here. And they're online telling everybody, online, to fence off your property to the street. That's ridiculous. Everybody else is doing landscaping stuff. I look at the end of my street on Colorado. The lady put rocks out there because the 18-wheelers are going through her front yard. People have their nice landscaping poles in the ground with ropes. I don't think anybody's talking about that. If people do that, and the city has to come out to do drainage ditches or whatever, oh well, you rip it up, you don't have to replace it because it shouldn't have been there to start with. That's where the difference is. You don't have to replace it if it's on the right of way. You rip it out, you do the repairs, you're done with it. Leave it as it is, just make damn sure that everybody's building now, they know different. You look at the end of 5th Street. The two people at the end there that have the big houses, they knew everybody's parking golf carts there. They actually put gravel in on each side because they know people are going to park there. And that's a right of way. They didn't put the whole right of way, it's like 10 feet, but they put at least 5 feet of gravel in anyway. And these people on the beach roads ought to know the same damn thing. Put 5 feet of gravel in. People want to park, they have to park somewhere, you can't. It's a whole different thing. I'd leave everybody else alone and just put it out there and let everybody know, hey, you can't take the right of ways up. This is just how it is. And if you have to get in there, you rip it up and you don't give them a penny for it. That's just it. They got permission. Leave them alone. Right behind you, Bob. I don't know. Leave them alone.
Can I say something? I hope so. I've been sitting here listening to this and listening to this and listening to this. This has been done for years and years and years before Mike went on too. Yes, that's against the ordinance. I know it. I've been knowing since I was on the council the first time. It should have been corrected for Bruce and them. It's not a simple matter to say, well, we'll just change it. Well, it's not a simple matter to say, well, we just tell everybody to take these things up. It's not that simple. If you want to be that simple with it, all this stuff would have been done a long time ago. You said you just brought up a place right across the street from your business has been there for a couple of years with stuff right on right away. So to say that it just happened, it's not just happened. Agreed, they was told wrong. I don't care who told them, it was told wrong. They should not be responsible for having to take them up. I think because of the employees that was told, and whatever the reason, or whoever, or whatever, I ain't even worried about that. They should not be out of it. Their yard's going to be torn up. The cost is already. I feel the city is responsible for that. Now, just go and start pulling people's posts up, we can't do that. Nick's right. We need to put some type of notice on there, give them a chance to do it or whatever. But it's not just a simple matter of just going and pulling them up. It's not fair to them. We allowed it to happen all this time. If we looked the other way or whatever, we allowed it to happen. It's going to take time and it's going to take work if you want this removed. So, I personally feel the city is responsible for Bruce and them's property simply because of, now other people have done this. Now, Bob had permission. The other people that have just done this, they need to remove them according to our ordinances. But at least we need to give them notice to get it removed. So that's my thoughts.
I believe that everyone should be treated the same. If you're going to do something for this one, you got to do it for everybody. You can't do it for this one, and you can't do it for any of them. I mean, I understand when you say you feel like you're being picked on. If I were you, I think I'd feel the same way. There have been roped off areas before the storm, many, and wrong fences and all kind of easement issues. I just think if we're going to enforce one, if somebody is not compliant, then everyone else who isn't should be treated the same way.
I gave you my fly.
Thank you.
Put on me,
That's what I needed. Send him over here. That's what I think. I really do. Right is right. You can't single people out. This stuff's been going on forever, like you said.
Well, we hate that we opened this because personally, I couldn't care less if we had that out there or not. It was something that we did because we thought we could, and Bruce thought it would look nice and that it would keep people from parking on our yard. But why us doing it right now has made it into a big city issue of, oh my gosh, we have all these posts with ropes in the easement. Why did us doing that make it into an issue? Now, I'm not saying for us, by any means. I'm just saying why did this particular one cause it to become a big city issue when all this time it's not been an issue? It's just been fine. I hate that we caused an issue for the city, but I don't see where everything should change for all these people who have put them up just because we tried to put one up. It just seems kind of odd.
I'm waiting to see where you want to go. I'm trying to give you.
Hey, Darryl, is there a way that I might be added to? There is a buttons across the street the city must have put in because there was a lot there. Can the city look at mine as a safety problem and because it is on the right of way? Can that be done where, all right, we did it, the city did it over here on this side and it was okay to block the right of way. So on my side of the street where people are running all in the yard and cutting the corner because the corner wasn't designed properly, to where you had to make a turn rather than go in people's yards.
Well,
can we put those and make that, the city make that?
I thank you from what you said earlier that the police chief said that it was a safety issue, but that's beside the point. The city can go and block off all the right of way that they want because it's theirs. If that's what they wanted to do, which is not what they're going to do. But see, this part right here is city right of way, and then the rest is your yard. You can, as long as you follow the codes, you can do whatever you want in your yard according to the codes. It's correct. But from here out, it's different. It's the city's. And to answer Jan, you didn't start this. This was going before I ever even saw yours and knew about it. And again, I'll say that I was talking to the guy that was doing the landscaping and saying, can't do that. As I called Gina Johnson, I said, what's the right of way? She said the right of way is 50 feet, so 25 feet from the center line is where the property line should be. They may be a little different than that on some of the roads. She was going to get me a list of those right of ways, but it doesn't really matter. It was happening prior to you. You did not cause this. You got involved in it because, unbeknownst to me, you put it in. And the first I heard about it was, after the fact. So you don't have to have a guilty conscience. You didn't.
I don't have a guilty conscience. I just think it's sad that the city all of a sudden has made this into a
Well,
big issue.
well, I know, but it's if you don't handle, it's like Bobby said, it should have been handled years ago. Well, let's handle it now.
But do you not grandfather in typically when something like this happens and you decide to
No,
enforce a rule that has not,
I can't grandfather somebody in when they did something wrong.
Even with permission.
With permission is different.
exactly.
You got, as far as I know, there's only 2 cases. There may be more. Bob's and yours. You get, everybody got sitting here. Y'all got permission. He got permission. That's totally different than everyone else. Unless they can show in their public record that they got permission from somebody else, then they have to be handled differently. But the fact of the matter is, even though it's a small issue, you gotta handle small issues with big issues, and that's the reason we're having this discussion today.
You know, and I know there's several code violations in the city. You know it, and I know it.
But,
A lot of
well,
Darryl, do you want to, do you want to bring something up specific to Janet Bruce? Or because to me it's different, because they asked and we told them wrong. The others that are out there, I think Bobby and Nick is in their code. I mean, we can send them a notice if we do, or put a notice on, we can make a red tag and just ride around and hang it on there, let them know. I mean, I don't know if you have to mail it to them, do you, Nick?
No, we're not following it.
I mean, that's, it's
just putting it online is helpful.
Yeah, putting it out there and let people know. But are you wanting to do something specific to the one that did ask, that has just been there a few days?
I think those that have, there's 2 that I'm aware of that got permission to do it. Those should be handled on an individual basis. But handled
Okay, so.
I mean, how you gonna handle it?
Yeah,
I think, well, I don't know, the council's gotta say what they wanna do, that's all I kinda feel like I've been thrown into the pigeonhole here, and I'm the only one that's, Bobby agreed essentially with what I'm saying, but I think we need to notify people and tell them, but they can't do it. Or unless we change the ordinance, and I don't see us changing the ordinance because it's our property.
Well, for them, then Bobby mentioned, I mentioned it. I'm not sure what anybody else mentioned, but we said, look, we made a mistake. We're willing to correct that. And either pay for it or move them ourselves.
There you go.
And that's
and I'm good with that.
That's what we said.
Well, no, move myself. If we do move myself, we still need to reimburse him for his costs.
Yeah,
He would benefit without it.
I don't disagree with that. I said that from the beginning.
You got him, I want to do about Bob. Them 2 things. So, I mean, we're going.
Send them a letter.
Bob.
No, Rob, he's talking about Rob.
Rob who?
What's his name?
I can't.
They'll convert it to,
No, I'm talking about on secret.
We're gonna send them the,
Bob.
If we gonna.
oh, he was, he got permission 10 years ago.
This back when we was on the council
No.
the first time.
You're talking, he's
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about him. I mean, if he got permission, and we just gonna let his stay there on secret.
Right.
That's what we're saying.
we gave him
That's
permission.
what I'm saying. I mean,
And he got permission to do it, and it's an extenuating circumstance, it's a safety issue as well.
Darryl, at the time, I said, anytime that you need to get down there and work, take them out of there before you agree.
okay, so
What about where we moved the sidewalk? When we put the sidewalk in for the city,
Yeah.
and rock and fence, they're about 5 foot past the property line. You know, we slip that sidewalk around?
I don't think there's any sidewalks that I've seen that are
No.
not on the state right of way.
No, I'm not saying where we moved the sidewalk, Mr. Mayor. That steel fence and the rocks are past the property line about 5 foot.
Well, with due respect to you and Jan, we could sit here and go on with where there may be issues I'm trying to condense this to, we don't disagree that there are other issues. And we said that we're going to address those where we're going to notice or tag them or whatever. But I'm ready to deal with something here that we can come to some kind of conclusion. In their case, they got permission. Is it the consensus of the council that we're going to pay them to what they're, let them submit a bill or for what they put in the ground and that we're responsible for that? Is that what we're going to do?
I'm good with that.
Well, I'm asking. I'm not telling. I'm asking. If that's what,
I'm way out is good with that if everybody does. We're gonna do it for everybody.
well, we didn't give everybody permission, Jerry.
Well,
We didn't do that.
Well, we give Rob down there.
Well, we didn't. This group did not do that.
But the LDR, if you're gonna go ahead, it's just,
Well,
it does say that his is wrong. So if he's wrong, everybody's wrong. That's why I'm like Miss Sharon said. If you put pen stuff, if you wrong, you wrong. Everybody's wrong. So let's do what we got to do for everybody. Let's pick on one. I ain't picking on nobody, but if the LDR says, then I think that's what we should do. That's what I think. But let's do it for everybody. Everybody. Let's go through here and we tag fences.
Well, I'm going to clarify my position because if Bob's going to get drug into this from 2013, I was on the council. When he talked to me, I sent him to our city administrator, and that's where the permission was given. The administrator called the police chief and the others, and if that was the decision made, and if Mario had given, as the administrator in the face of our government, had given these folks permission, I'd be sitting here saying, well, I might do that. But that's not what happened. And I'm not willing to throw a cast net over everything that's been done here because we're sitting here dealing with one property owner. I see it about what we're going to do because we made a mistake. That's the only two. I'm not willing to do that. I just think all the correct we're going to be made, we're in charge of, and move on. And send the notices out and let people know because if we don't stop it, it's going to be, let's just fast forward. How we're going to tell the next person, no, you can't put those poles in the ground. How are you going to do it? We'll be sitting here doing the same thing. So, all right. We can do it by consensus. We do it by motion. We do. Just somehow we got to move on. Darryl, do you want to suggest? I paraphrased what I thought you and Bobby. I know what I said. But there seems to be a consensus that we were willing to correct this one by paying for our mistake, and that can be done through several ways. We can go move them ourselves. They said they didn't want them moved on the property line, or we can go down there, take them out, fix the thing, and tell them to send us, give us a bill for what they put. The poles, whatever the poles cost, or I don't know. I'm sure they can come up with something.
Well, I'm sure he's probably got a price on all that. Bruce is pretty good about that. Yeah. I'm kind of like you. I think the city needs moving. I don't think he should be responsible for moving, but I think he should be totally reimbursed the paying costs of what it was.
Okay. I agree with that.
Okay. I agree with that.
I do not.
You do not agree with that. Okay. Well, three of us agree to it. Do we want a motion? Just so we'll be. Nick, we good with that? Is that good enough? Bar, is that good enough for your direction? Okay, that's the big thing. Because you would approve the big. Bruce and Jan, any last words? No. Okay. All right. Darryl, is anything else on this particular thing? I think we talked about how we're good. We're moving on.
We're gonna give a notice. We're gonna put it on Facebook.
Yeah, we're
gonna give them a notice. Okay.
Okay, do we need to make a motion for this or just?
Well, it's just putting out there that there's going. So, don't don't put things in the right of way, and if you have something in the right of way, please move it. I mean, we can do it and see, we tried that before, people may respond to that. Instead of drive around and do it. And I think here we are again, to me, trying to make concessions. We want to be Mr. Nice Guy. And we're okay with that. But people have manicured their right of ways, and I respect that. But the problem is, look what happens when you don't. When you don't claim it. That's what happens. So
I do have one more thing to say. I don't see it as being nice to make people who've had all these fences up for a long time take them out. I don't see where anybody's going to say, wow, that city, they're a bunch of nice guys. I just don't see
okay. I respect that opinion. You got anything else? Okay. All right, moving on. Municipal elections. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I apologize. This is where, if we're going to have an early voting location, it's $9,000 to us, or we're going to have just where we have a regular voting poll. Is that right, Mark? Isn't that the gist of this? I'm not sure who put this on here. Number 8.
I think it's $3,500 for the election day, and then the precinct total costs $9,000.
If that's what the city would like to.
Yes, they're asking us if we want an early voting. I think the gist of this is just that we want an early voting. It would cost us $9,000.
And it's to have a location for early voting in the city, right? Early voting can be done, it just would involve driving.
And the church is still, I was going to assume that they are going to reach out to the Baptist church and confirm that that's, that location. We don't really have another location.
No plan to move in.
Okay.
Kids.
So,
Mayor, they were just reaching out at the supervisor of elections at Bay County just to confirm that we wanted to continue doing what we normally have been doing due to the cost of the city.
anybody got anything we want to change?
I can't see paying $9,000 for a vote and never sell a place that's around they can go.
No. No, I agree. I think that really would be
I agree with that too.
okay. So then, can you notify them that we're going to move forward with what we have?
I will do that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. All right, and lastly is the project list. And Mario, I think, first of all, are the council members that want to ask specifically any certain thing that we got going on here? I'm looking for next time, the street side that we scratched off, right?
Yes, sir. I hope so.
Mario, do you have any updates that are worthy of?
The boat ramp changes that were in the conference room, I got no comments, and I gave Dewberry to go ahead to submit to Fish and Wildlife, so that's moved forward. On the canal jetty, we have now sent new information to FEMA on the cost-benefit analysis for extending the jetty, and I also have an agreement for the easement for the jetty that I'll need the mayor to sign. Outside of that, most of these projects are tracked. The landscape out at on 98, the state has actually been more restrictive on accepting the oak trees than we had been. They're recommending some 60 trees be removed.
No, the oak trees, I don't know how many they have, but all but 105 of them didn't pass their muster for the inspection, so they're recommending replacement. However, the landscape architect doesn't think they can find the additional oak trees. They've depleted the stock in the area, so the DOT has recommended replanting the palmettos.
So the intent of replanting with palmettos is to, if the oak tree was $200, that they will replant with $200 worth of Palmettos, and the schedule of values is the schedule of values, so it's just equal cost.
Sort of swap out.
So if the council's okay with switching out from oak trees to palmettos, they'd like to go ahead and replace everything that the DOT is required to be replaced with the palmettos. And they're gonna be hardier.
That kind of look better anyway.
I know that way people will ask me, is that gonna be a 100-year-old oak tree, it's gonna be 25 feet tall and.
Right.
Oh, they've told you that too, Sheriff?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right,
What about my park? Neighborhood Pond Park, last time we.
The grant now, they just notified us that we were accepted. The city was
Nick, you were supposed to tell us something about the credit card machine you had.
It's out to bid. Bids come in, I think early September.
And the decision and the approval is supposed to be the 1st September meeting?
The 3 acres, my 3 acres on the boat map.
It has been surveyed, and if council would like, I will get a price to have it cleared.
I saw the stakes, so I mean,
It has been surveyed at this point, so.
yeah, I've seen those there.
I knew it come okay. I seen the stake, but I knew it come in that water thing. I seen the flag there. I thought it was at the very end, out there toward the gate, and it is. Right. It is. I had.
Do y'all want to send, I don't know where we're going to find that money to do that.
Offer to do that there.
Well,
Oh. Go ahead.
You do have impact fees that can be used to clear that land. I mean, you have impact fees that is clear growth to your parking lot, so you have a justifiable means of paying for it.
Clear the better. But I do have people that asked if we got it surveyed, got it cleared. Today we cleaned it off, and I got with Tom, and he said that he could probably haul the trees and debris off for us, so that way we just have food.
What do we want to do? We don't need him to prepare a thing you
I
want
think
to
let's go, we can pay for it, let's go.
Why don't we prepare something to see what kind of bid we get to do that? All right, anything else from anybody as far as the list? Yeah. No.
Can we check with St. Joe on the purchase of the acreage over here for $60,000 roughly?
I have sent her an email, and she has not responded, but I know that she's plenty busy, so I'll give her a call.
Okay. That's all I have.
Anything else on the list? Okay. Nick, you have anything?
I do have something today. This is really just more of an update than anything, because it's an issue that's getting a little bit more high tension, and we also have some upcoming turnover happening for our staff. So recall at the hurricane time, we had a lot of different groups come in to help with utility work, came in quickly, helped get things back online. Mutual aid agreements were in place so that the city would reimburse them for their time, their efforts. And I think Ryan will be here next meeting, so he can probably fill in some gaps. But I believe we had more than 10 groups come in, and all but one have been paid fully and are done and resolved. We do have an issue that's been ongoing now a little while with a group in Jacksonville called JEA. And I want to kind of give you a summary of where we stand with them, because we have been in a disagreement about their remaining payment due for a while, and we're potentially going to go arbitrate with them at some point in the near future. So JEA did some of the more specialized work. They did a lot of work here following the hurricane, and they eventually invoiced the city for I believe almost $612,000. So big expense. Our disaster consultants did the normal thing. They get reimbursement from FEMA, and they were able to secure $364,000 of FEMA money for reimbursement. That has been paid to JEA, and that leaves a balance, very large balance and then they've also got a late charge from JEA. So the total balance they're asking for on their bill is a little over $293,000. They've told us that they will accept something lower. The last number that they floated around was right around $160,000. We're trying to figure out if there's a lower number than that to consider. The mutual aid agreement that we're under has a mandatory binding arbitration to work out things like this, and the parties that would decide the arbitration are other utility providers. It's not the judge, it's not a lawyer, it's the other members of this utility cooperative. And the basic idea behind why is this amount a lot higher than what we got from FEMA is that for this JEA bill, they added multipliers onto their base rates that were higher than what the other utility providers usually provide. They doubled the rate first with emergency time and then added a 1.67 roughly calculation on top of that for basically overhead. And it's expanded their charge a lot. Mario and I are going to look at some other documentation to see what some of the other utility providers did, but we don't think anyone else had that same level of multiplier. So, like I said, that's more of an update than anything. But if you do have strong feelings versus settlement versus arbitration, I'd be interested in that. Otherwise, we'll probably talk about this further next week.
What, just refresh my memory, when we put these people on board, what was that contractual agreement?
Well, I can share the contract with you, and the basic process was that before they came, they would tell us what kind of work they do, what kind of capacity they had, but it didn't set forth that they needed to give us a cost estimate or pricing. It set up to deal quickly with emergencies. So I don't know when we first got the price information. I wasn't involved with this for a long time. It's really just been since the spring that I've gotten the picture. But the initial invoice was large, and Atkins went through the reimbursement process and only got about half of it reimbursed, a little more than half.
I mean, I'll just sort of be curious what, to see what that contract was. I mean, I would like to see that.
Absolutely.
And their multipliers compared to the
Well, I don't think that contract had anything to do with multipliers.
He doesn't describe that.
I'm just pulling from, but I don't recall any of that. It was FEMA approved.
It has some language in some parts about FEMA qualified expenses, but it's not consistently used throughout. It's not the best contract.
Anything else?
No, that's all.
Mark? Council? Karen?
I got one little thing, the our electricity at the boat sled that we've been trying to get. These people has called us, got boats on there. Tommy, I know he's brought it up, and I couldn't Mr. Princeton. They thought diligently, apparently we're gonna get it this week. So without them, we had a little bump in the road with the city. I thought it was some current solutions or would do, but they're not bumping the road, and they straightened it out. So maybe by this week we'll have electricity.
Well, good. That guy that's upset about it, maybe he'll call y'all.
Charlie, no, he won't call me.
All right, anything else? Motion for adjournment? Thank everyone for coming.